Let me tell you a little story about a teacher named Miss Mac. Miss Mac was an early career teacher, and at the start of last year, she accepted her first permanent teaching position at Bayshore Primary School, a low socio-economic status school located on the south coast of New South Wales. Many Bayshore students were stuck in a deficit cycle where the social structures had produced low expectations for their achievement in school. Before the school year began, Miss Mac sat down and carefully studied the profiles of the 21 students that would make up her Year 4 class. This allowed Miss Mac to learn about her students' backgrounds, strengths and weaknesses, and their abilities in order to develop a challenging yet achievable curriculum. Miss Mac identified the at-risk students in her class and was quick to set up meetings with previous teachers to gain additional information. One student named Duncan stood out in particular to Miss Mac. Duncan was known by school staff as a quiet, introverted and courteous young boy who rarely completed his work and was often the student who fell under the radar. It was commented that there was no point trying to organise meetings with Duncan's mother because she was always too busy, and that if she helped and had higher aspirations for Duncan, maybe he wouldn't find it as difficult to keep up with his peers. Low academic results across all KLAs, in particular English, and Duncan's lack of social interaction with his peers concerned Miss Mac. Miss Mac tried helping Duncan, but it was concluded he just didn't have enough help at home to succeed. By week 4, Duncan was struggling to keep up with his peers. Frustrated by this, Miss Mac spoke with her colleagues, and it was suggested she set up a home visit in order to build a partnership with Duncan's mother and work on unpacking Duncan's virtual school bag. The visit to Duncan's home was eye-opening for Miss Mac, as she realised how disconnected she was from Duncan's out-of-school world. Duncan's mother worked 2 jobs in order to generate enough income to provide for Duncan and herself. The hours were long, and she often wasn't home before 7 p.m, and by then it was almost Duncan's bedtime. When she was home, she tried helping Duncan with schoolwork and encouraging him to read to her. Miss Mac learned that many of Duncan's afternoons were spent at the next-door neighbour's house, playing with his friend Sam. Duncan's mother explained to Miss Mac that Duncan and Sam loved playing chess and other board games together, and were always looking for new games to learn, master, and be the best at, of course. During her visit, Miss Mac played a game of chess with Duncan, and was shocked by not only the enthusiasm Duncan displayed, but also his concentration and commitment. During the game, Duncan made running commentary and gave tips to Miss Mac on how she could improve. This behaviour and level of communication was something that Miss Mac had not yet seen in the classroom. After the home visit, Miss Mac realised that she needed to rethink the approach she had been taking with Duncan and turn around her pedagogy to develop learning situations that would utilise the skills in Duncan's virtual school bag. The next week, Miss Mac introduced the class to their new unit of work that would not only benefit Duncan, but would also improve the learning of all other students in the classroom. The unit of work had students working in small groups to develop a new game and an advertising campaign to try and sell their game to other kids. Students drafted and edited a set of game rules, created a physical copy of their game, and produced a digital advertisement to sell their game. Miss Mac was thrilled to see that Duncan was communicating with his peers, completing his work, and enjoying learning. Realised that by unpacking Duncan's virtual school bag, she was able to find ways of reinventing and adapting her existing pedagogical practices to design a curriculum that engaged and offered him success. This experience showed Miss Mack, by designing pedagogies of reconnection, she was able to reconsider the deficit assumptions she had about Duncan. Miss Mack is now moving outside her deficit assumptions about other kids in the class and their families, and turning around to take the responsibility for reconnecting students' home lives with the classroom.